Good afternoon, Manufacturing All-Stars, and welcome to this episode of Manufacturing Happy Hour. Today, you are going to learn how to create an automation roadmap. I'm joined by Corey Tomford and Steve Carter from Concept Systems. Cheers, gentlemen.
Cheers.
Welcome to the show. Now, real quick, in a couple sentences so that our audience knows who you guys are, tell us a little bit about Concept Systems.
Concept Systems, we're a control systems integrator. Been around for about 20 years. Custom control systems, that's machine control, process control, robotics, and vision systems.
Really sweet spot is retrofits, robotic work cells, custom manufacturing of different work cells.
Awesome. We'll talk a bit more about these guys at the end of the video, but as we get started, maybe we go with the definition first. What is an automation roadmap, and why is it important to have one?
Sure. Automation roadmap it's a plan. Often a goal is a 5-year plan that a manufacturer will put together to really plan out what they want to do with their automation. The existing automation, future automation, really helps you focus on where you want to go.
Exactly. So when you're looking at working with your customers on an automation roadmap, you're trying to determine or work with them to determine how are they going to budget the best use of their finances.
Right. I guess the biggest question that we're trying to answer today is, how to create one. So how do people get started with an automation roadmap? What's the first step or steps?
I really think the most important step is to start with an audit of your existing automation, your existing equipment, existing workforce. Let's take a look at what you've got, how old it is. Some of it starts to become obsolete over time, and let's plan that in. Do you want to keep this equipment around for the next 5 years? So you really need to plan for that and how you're going to maintain that. From there, you start to look to what automation you want to add.
Exactly. So as Corey stated, you really have to do that audit first. I think that is just key to everything, and you can set up specific criteria that you will be gathering during this audit, and typically put that into a spreadsheet format, and from there you can go on to your second step.
Yeah. So once you've really pulled together all the different potential automation applications, that's what you're looking at. You want to start to evaluate them. You're going to evaluate them based on cost, based on risk. That's a big one that I think a lot of people forget about. Right. That's a really important one. And I'm missing one. Basically ROI.
Yeah, ROI is really key to this second step. After you've gone through the audit process, now you're putting all this data that you've gathered into a format that then you want to start prioritizing, and that then is critical. So kind of the way we look at it is the customer is going to go back and he's going to set priority the way he feels it should be based on conversations we've had previously, and at that point we're going to get back together again.
Yeah. And once you've got that list together, it really allows you to focus your resources. Instead of throwing resources at 5, 6, 7 applications, you can really start to focus on the right application. It gives you some knowledge to really say, hey, this is what we need to work on first, right? And some of that is maybe it's a new piece of automation, maybe it's just retrofitting controls on your old equipment, right? You got to keep that stuff going. You got some PLC5s, you need to get those out of there and get them upgraded to some control logics. I think it's got to be planned into that whole automation roadmap.
Exactly. That's a good point. That's a real good point, because if that plant already has some automation in it, and that is part of the criteria is upgrading, replacing some of that old obsolete equipment, that's going to really push that to the high priority list, right?
Awesome.
High priority on that list for sure.
Well, what I've loved about this dialogue is you guys started at getting that baseline, doing that audit, and then honing into the areas of biggest impact, prioritizing, like you said. Now, I know after this video, I imagine people that are working on those automation roadmaps are going to want to learn more. I believe you guys have a link where you can send people to, correct?
That's correct.
Yeah. On our website, we've got our plant modernization page. It talks about all the different parts of a facility, and there's the equipment, there's the HMI and SCADA side, there's data collection. All of that needs to be part of the big picture plan. So, yep.
And as always, I will make sure to link to that below this video so that you can click on it and follow up more afterwards. As we close out, any other final things you want to say about Concept Systems and, you know, where you're from and how you play into this?
Well, we've got, as Corey started off, we're about 20 years old now, and we've got 4 offices across the country. We originated in Albany, Oregon. That's our headquarters. We have regional offices in Seattle, Kennewick, Washington, and Charlotte, North Carolina.
Awesome. Well, it was great having you gentlemen on the show. We'll do one more cheers.
All right, yeah.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Thank you.
And for those of you out there, stay innovative, stay thirsty, and we'll see you again here on Manufacturing Happy Hour real soon. Cheers.
Cheers.